welcome to another video here on the channel. My name is Peter Winema, also known as Barca DNA on Twitter, and today will be the breakdown of the World Cup final, its events, legacy that Messi leaves behind, and the celebration of a new era for Spain and for so many of the Barca players involved, and a general summation and roundup of the World Cup. And so, without further ado, let's get to it. So the World Cup is now over, and I thought what I would do for a video like this is actually wait about 24 hours after the game ended. I believe after an occasion like this, it's good to take a step back. It's good to let the emotions die down, let the dust settle, and then go back a day later and maybe try to analyze what happened, discuss it, talk about it. I think giving that 24-hour period, letting the game itself calm down, letting the celebrations ensue, letting some early narratives run, and then come back and analyze the game, for me just made sense. And so I wanted to do that before going into what I thought of the final between Spain and Argentina. I'm gonna first start off by addressing Argentina, just giving them my general thoughts and perspectives before delving into Spain and what this means for them. But I'll start with Messi, because where else can I start? The greatest player of all time, 39 years old. There's nothing more than I can say about him that he hasn't proven already. He is by far the greatest player this game will ever see, and he proved that in this World Cup. A player at 39 who, let's face it, didn't even have to play at this tournament. He's already a World Cup winner. He already cemented his legacy. He owed nothing to anybody at this World Cup, and yet somehow put together the most impressive tournament he's ever done at the ripe old age of 39. It was absolutely sensational. The joy he played with, the fervor he played with, and in fact, he put together a better World Cup than he did in 2022 when he won the whole thing. It was inspiring, it was beautiful, it was stunning to watch Messi put together so many iconic displays, whether it's the hat trick against Algeria, the 2 goals against Austria, the iconic performance against Egypt, or the iconic display against England when it mattered most. He did so many amazing things throughout this tournament, Messi, and really showed the whole world just what he's about. Obviously, it's a shame to see him lose the final. It's a shame to see him broken down in tears afterwards. But the fact that you saw Messi at so many moments in this tournament, whether it's from missing penalty kicks to breaking down in tears even against Egypt, to the tears you saw against Spain, those tears right there are the very reason why Messi is in this position to begin with. That heart, that desire, that passion, that love for his national team and his players is the reason why he's there. It's the reason why he's so universally loved, respected, adored across the footballing world. And really, as an individual, he won so many hearts at this World Cup, and perhaps maybe didn't have the supporting cast he had in 2022. I think, especially from the team as a whole, Argentina really didn't give Messi as much support as he needed. I think as a whole, they were a bit weaker than they were in 2022, especially going forward. It really felt as if everything hinged on Messi. It was Messi or bust. It was Messi or nothing. And ultimately, the final proved to be a step too far, a push too far for Argentina. But Messi aside, he has cemented his legacy as the greatest player of all time. But now I do want to address Argentina. And this is where I'm going to be brutally honest, because you have to be. Argentina, for me, at this World Cup, as a collective outside of Messi, were poor. They were poor. There's no other way of putting it. There's no other way of talking about it. There's no other way of framing the discussion. Of course, this team, we have to respect the fact that they've reached back-to-back World Cup finals. That in and of itself is absolutely immense. Winning 2 Copa Americas, winning the Finalissima, they have done something historic. They have done something rivaling what Spain were able to do with their golden generation from 2008 to 2012. Yet, every golden era comes to an end. And usually for teams that are at the top, it comes to an end in failure. it comes to an end in a severe humbling, a really tragic and embarrassing fashion. And for Argentina, meanwhile, the scoreline perhaps doesn't look humiliating. The game certainly was. Like I said, in this tournament, they didn't give Messi enough support. They didn't have any other ideas other than him. If he wasn't the catalyst for what they were doing, they simply offered nothing. And in this final, I have to say, I have never seen a more pathetic demonstration from a team than I have from Argentina in this final. They simply went out there with no intention to play or intention to win. It was very, very strange. Now I have to say, obviously we'll come and talk about Spain in a moment for how good they are, but this from Argentina was cataclysmically bad. They simply could never get on the ball. They never seemed to have the bravery to want to attack Spain, to want to take risks, even if it meant leaving space opening behind. They went into the game resigned to defeat. They went into a World Cup final thinking to themselves, we have no chance of stopping Spain, and so the only thing that we can do is commit fouls, break up the play, hope for a red card, maybe hope for penalties, maybe hope for extra time, do anything else, hang in there, play a low block, and they just offered nothing. What's sad about this team for Argentina is this is not who they are, or at least what we've seen of them over the past few years. Argentina, when you watch them against Brazil, for example, the very first Copa America that they won against Brazil, they weren't favorites in that game. Brazil were the overwhelming favorites playing at home, and yet that final, whilst it was very, very physical, it was also one of the most tactically sound performances you'd ever seen, and it came from Argentina. They nullified Brazil, but they also played some wonderful football whilst doing so. And then you saw the game against France, and it was a similar thing where France were seen as the favorites given how they were playing, given the attack, given Mbappe. And yet in 2022, Argentina played a very, very beautiful tactical masterclass, and they dominated France. And in fact, they were 10 minutes away from having very similar storylines to Spain having today. They were that dominant, and yet, of course, Mbappe has some individual moments, the penalties conceded, France get back into the game, it becomes tight, it becomes tough, and Argentina just about take it over the line and win on penalties. And even in the Copa America final against Colombia, that was a bit tighter, but still you saw Argentina as a team that had some tactical nuance, flexibility, and showed in that final that when Messi went off injured, they could still find a way to win. And yet, today against Spain, or rather yesterday against Spain, they were atrocious. They were simply atrocious. They never looked like creating anything. They never looked like putting two passes together. They never tried. It was simply hoofing the ball up front and hoping for a mistake, hoping for Alvarez to run in behind, hoping for Gonzalez to run in behind. And then in the second half, again, it was flat. It was hope for a miracle from Messi, which, by the way, in order for Messi to create a miracle, he has to get the ball, and he, quite frankly never did until their backs were against the wall. And then on top of that, you pair that with the dirty fouls, the aggressive challenges, the reckless nature of their play, and they really didn't apply any common sense to this final. Spain, by far, deserved winners, by far the better team, and honestly deserving of that World Cup without question. Now, there were so many narratives that went against Argentina, from rigged allegations to thuggery and all these things. And Argentina, what I can say is, in regards to the rigged and conspiracy theory allegations with referees, that is nonsense. That we can sidestep, that we can ignore, that we can look at and say, okay, that's just children talking, really. But in terms of the more dirty side of the game, in terms of the lack of tactical nous, the lack of an X factor outside of Messi, the lack of a clear balance and ideal from this team, you can't refute that. They've not done enough, Argentina, to actually show the world that those allegations are false, at least not in this tournament, and that's what's really sad. And I think that for a team as good as they are, this was not a good showing. This was not a representation of what Argentina are, or at least what they should be. It was really, really poor. But that aside, you can still respect the fact that they put together a really good display. Of course, maybe not in this game, but over the past few years, you can respect what they've done and what they've achieved. But I think one thing that I feel is kind of sad is as we fast forward now, kind of 24 hours after the World Cup, you look at someone like Enzo Fernandez who gets sent off. You look at Paredes, whose behavior was inexcusable. And for me, he should be banned from any FIFA-related competition for, honestly, forever for what he did. It was embarrassing, trying to throw Eric Garcia to the floor, trying to choke him, throwing Gavi to the floor, trying to start a brawl after full time. It was disgraceful. It was pathetic, and that does not represent football. Paredes, for me, was an absolute disgrace of a human being for what he did and how he behaved in that last exchange. And for me, you should pay the price for it as well when it comes to being banned, because it was just pathetic. But again, moving on here to Spain, what a victory. Honestly, what a victory for Spain. For me, this is the most dominant victory I have seen at a World Cup. It is the most dominant, at least in my lifetime, it is the most dominant victory I have seen a team put together. Spain were immaculate. They absolutely controlled every facet of this game. They kept possession. They made Argentina chase the whole time. But what was so beautiful was seeing how they defended without the ball. And by the way, they defended without the ball by having the ball, by doing one of two things: either keeping possession and doing it really, really well, or controlling where Argentina had it. Their pressing was so effective. They swamped the pitch. It felt as if they were playing with twice the amount of players on the pitch. They covered every blade of glass, and they forced Argentina into hoofing the ball long every single time. And even when Argentina tried to press high, tried to apply pressure, Spain weren't having it. They completely and utterly controlled the game from start to finish. They didn't give Argentina a whimper, just like they did against France. They were absolutely brilliant, mesmeric to watch, and again, like I said, well deserving of this World Cup. There's no question about that. And what a World Cup it has been for Spain, for the likes of Lamine Yamal, for Pau Cubarsí, for Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres scoring the game-winning goal in a World Cup final. How amazing is that for a player who's received so much criticism from so many people, me included, for his finishing, for his lack of finishing in big moments, and yet he has shown that in the biggest moment, when the lights were on, when they shone brightest, he is able to deliver, and that goal will make him immortal in Spain. He will be immortalized as the player who won the World Cup for Spain alongside Andres Iniesta. What a beautiful moment for Ferran Torres. Full praise to him for that moment, and really a win for him and a win for football. For the likes of Lamine Yamal, his reign over football has just begun. Of course, it wasn't his maybe best tournament. It wasn't the standout tournament that we all hoped it would be, but he'll have many more to come. He played his part really well. He was decisive in the semifinal, and he was just as impactful as well in the final in this game. Now, moving on to Pau Cubarsí. For me, he was the most impactful player. He was the star player, in my view, for Spain, at least from a Barca standpoint. He was beautiful. Simply put, Pau Cubarsí was beautiful in this tournament. He was just a joy to watch. 19 years old, and he played out of his skin. He justified his inclusion over Dean Housen, and he was just perfect. He did not lay a foot wrong. Maybe one moment against Belgium, but you take that away, he bossed France. He bossed Argentina. He bossed every opponent he played against, and some of the passes, the line-breaking passes he was able to play were sensational. Even in a final, there were moments when he cut the entire Argentina midfield out of the game with a simple ball that just whipped through the middle, and he made it look effortless. And even as well, there was one moment towards the end of the game where Argentina actually tried to play football, got in behind, played a vicious cross right through the face of goal, and it was for me, one of the greatest tackles I've ever seen by Pau Cubarsí. How in the world he times the challenge to perfection and doesn't concede an own goal in the process, I'll never know. It's a brilliant tackle, a wonderful moment there right at the end of the game, helping Spain get over the line and win the World Cup. He truly deserves all the praise, all his flowers, and I could not be prouder to say Pau Cubarsí is a Barca player and will be a Barca player for the foreseeable future. What a player, what a defender, and for Spain, what a team. Winning the Euros in 2024, winning the World Cup in 2026, and it only feels like the beginning. This team for me can still get better. This team for me is still needing players to develop and reach their full potential. And for me, even in this tournament, Spain were not at full strength. They really weren't. Lamine Yamal wasn't fully fit. Nico Williams wasn't fit throughout this tournament. Spain were not at full strength and yet still were light years ahead of their opponents. How much more can this team grow and improve, and how much more can they achieve in the years to come? For me, for Spain, the sky is the limit. But that is your breakdown of the World Cup final. Spain, worthy winners. Spain's dynasty has just begun yet again. For Argentina, it's commiserations. Perhaps it's justified for how they played and how they behaved, honestly, in this World Cup final. For Messi, none of this matters in terms of touching his legacy. In fact, if anything, he has amplified his legacy by how he's played at this World Cup. He has shown that without doubt, he is the greatest player of all time. He's performed at an immaculate level and deserves full praise for that. It's been a great World Cup for Messi, and if it is, sadly, the last time we see him at this World Cup, thank you. Thank you for inspiring billions. Thank you for inspiring the world of football. Thank you for decorating this game with so many iconic moments, so many beautiful moments, and so many that we will take on in our hearts forever. Thank you, Leo, for what you've done for the world of football. As for all of you, thank you for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave your own thoughts and comments down below. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and keep up with what we're doing as we get ready to gear towards Barca's preseason and what more is to come in the weeks and months ahead. So until then, take care, stay safe, and Visca Barca.